مرحبا أنا جيو.
أنا جون.
هيدا أول فيديو لإلنا so we decided نبلش بمارفل ستوديوز because it's one of our favorite studios and film franchises. هنحكي عن 3 movies نزلوا بال 2021 Shang-chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings,
Eternals
and Spider-Man No Way Home.
Okay. Shang-chi and the Legend of Ten Rings. Gio, what do you think?
It's actually one of my favorite Marvel movies اللي نزلوا.
Same. بعد like دايما بحكي عن Shang-chi like it's like the best movie Marvel عملته.
Especially like the martial arts in the movie. Like let's start there. We're gonna definitely talk about some scenes.
Spoiler alert. Yeah.
So.
Shang-chi and the Legend of Ten Rings, directed by Destin Daniel. وهو كمان كاتبه. Main actors in Simu Liu and Awkwafina. We love her. She is hilarious.
ولا مرة حاضر a full movie for Awkwafina.
You should.
I should.
We should talk about Farewell maybe soon. We don't know.
I would like to start with like the action in the movie. It's kind of different from Marvel. شوي غير عن Marvel. حتى fighting scenes, the martial arts in the movie.
It's like one of the best martial arts هلا like بهال like generation through this generation like من قبل كان Jackie Chan, like the old movies.
It's kind of inspired by Jackie Chan, but has like
few references.
Yeah, references definitely. Some scenes in this movie like were amazing. My favorite scene, like the fight between Shang-Chi's parents, which was like a dance. بيرقصوا مع بعض, but they're fighting, but it was like the fight / the dance was like they're falling in love.
Very romantic, right?
Yeah, it's like this is how they told us إنه خلص they're in love. It was kind of obvious, but it was like I think super enticing, كتير stunning. It was just stunning.
Yeah, the visual effects like they were amazing. Like I like توصل لمرحلة بتقول like maybe this is like one of the best visual effects like عملته Marvel.
The effects, the CGI.
I mean, yeah, everything like they are connected. The visual effects they are very connected with the theme of the movie. You know Chinese culture.
Exactly. The Asian Chinese culture and tradition. I think for people who love mythology, who love these kind of things, even the culture itself, like it was amazing. It was stunning.
Almost better than Dragon Balls. I don't know if.
هلا كتير في comparison with Dragon Ball. Ball Z. The cinematography. With like the culture and the actors, they kind of complement each other, you know, in a very beautiful way. Like Awkwafina and Simu Liu. Awkwafina and Simu Liu with like the effects and their acting, they were complementing each other, and like the chemistry between them. كتير في chemistry, كتير في humor and like intensity at the same time.
Tony Leung, you know, the actual villain, the Mandarin.
The Mandarin, the actual Mandarin after so many movies.
So this character كان كتير قوي, يعني كتير اخد الشخصية تبعه the Mandarin اللي كنا like بنعرف عنه, but we've never like seen him before.
We weren't expecting this person to be the Mandarin, I think, from my side. Always about like a terrorist, maybe
like Arab.
Yeah, some prejudice comes into play. Oh my god! But because they said that the Mandarin was Arab. It was a completely different character, a completely different villain. He's supernatural. I loved the supernatural aspect of his character and of the story.
The whole picture it's epic صراحة.
It was like insanely epic. حتى the music, like at the start, it started off like completely modern. It was like fresh breath of air, you know, like how it started with the modern music. It started off strong and it went off to be even better, and it got better and better as long as it went. I've watched it 2 times, and I think I would watch it again.
I watched it 3 times.
Yes, I've watched it twice in the span of 1 month because it's actually super epic, as you said. Like this is the perfect word.
Yeah, this is like one of the my favorite movies, right next to Thor Ragnarok. Thor Ragnarok is still like wow.
Marvel movies.
Yes. Yeah, I definitely recommend this movie if you like martial arts. Definitely, I recommend this movie.
Even if you're not a Marvel fan,
yeah.
I don't think في شوية like references, في شوية أشياء بس like Wong مثلا. It's an introduction to a character that at least أنا ما كنت أعرف شيء عنه, and it was like a perfect introduction. The acting, the story, the cinematography, the music, the epicness of it, the duality of it كمان between the father, the Madara, who's like completely a villain, building this kind of cult, being a terrorist, somehow controlling the world, and Taolo, which is super peaceful and grounded and earthy.
It's represent nature, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. Now, Eternals, directed by Chloe Zhao.
Chloe Zhao, the Oscar winner.
This is how they... I don't know if I said her
Chloe Zhao. Yeah,
name,
maybe.
But yeah. Yes, the Oscar winner of last year, 2021, Nomadland.
It got mixed reviews, I think, but the fans actually liked it. Some fans hated it, some fans loved it. So
كتير كان في هيك debate and like I don't know if you have to like all the characters, but you don't have to like all the characters be Eternals. I mean, the cast is a big cast. I'm نحكي Angelina Jolie, Salma Hayek, you know, Kit Harington from Game of Thrones. So yeah, it's a big like cast. But I mean, let's talk about the screenplay. I mean, a lot of people would kind of agree with our opinion. Like we have a lot of issues with Eternals.
I liked Chloe, I think, because it was kind of very different from what you would expect from a Marvel movie, kind of. So I think she brought in something new. She did.
This is her first actually Marvel movie مثل Dustin Daniel. No, كان أول موفي له Shang-chi. Chloe كمان أول موفي له Marvel بس I think I understand Marvel ليش نقوى لأنه شيء كثير قوي بالدراما, you know. This wasn't the issue. مش هذا الissue. Definitely I respect the idea إنه غيروا for Eternals, and if you watch the movie أكيد لازم يعرفوا like ليش this movie is very different لأنه الستوري تبع Eternals خاصة ب like كتير قصص history of our human culture.
Definitely. The story كتير.
Humanity, يعني we're talking about the whole humanity.
وكتير فيها mythology definitely. هلا في names that are like Thena, Gilgamesh. These characters are like pretty obvious that
Ikaris, yes.
Ikaris stripped out of Greek mythology. بس حتى the movie كتير it felt like you're reading a mythology book. Like
yeah, everything was like studied very يعني انشغل عليها الفيلم. I think she did a really good job. But we have an issue like storyline, the screenplay.
Yeah, definitely it was like we were talking إنه كتير كان kind of spoon fed. كتير خلص إنه storytelling. We have a story and we need to tell it, and it's like 1, 2, 3, 4 خدوا. عرفت? It's an introduction to new characters, and there's so many characters. It's hard to tell their story in a short time, even though the runtime تبع Eternal كان طويل.
2 hours and a half.
Yes, but I think Chloe did a great job in presenting the characters. Her directing is character based, or at least I have this prejudice based on Nomadland.
Yes.
So I think she took very big mythological characters with like immense superpowers, and she made them very real and human.
We see them as a family, as a whole family. We see them actually as one. Their whole, you know, power was all connected together. This is how they defeated the Celestial. But in the end, they are kind of all individually not that strong alone.
Yes.
Right.
So, who's your favorite character? Who's your favorite Eternal?
Druig,
yes.
حبيت كيف انسحب, you know, هون is what صار, you know, the conflict is بيناتهم. كل واحد راح بطريقه. So حبيت هو إنه he had the, you know, the courage to like say no, and I liked and how he controlled them and make them stop the war, and they all left peacefully. وأكيد Sersi actually she is the main.
Like she is the main character.
She's
definitely.
The main character.
I think Camille, it was an introduction to a very powerful character, Sersi.
So who's your favorite?
My favorite. Now, as much as I loved Thena, I loved Ikaris because I mean his scenes were amazing, and the story of Ikaris in Greek mythology, you know, he was given wings. His father told him, "Don't go fly too closely to the sun," but he did. And then he burned, and then in the end, this is how the movie ended. Him like going off to the sun. كتير حبيت السين اللي هو بيلقطوا where they were all fighting the final act, and he pulls
Yes.
him down and be like before going off to the sun.
Yeah.
He was like just holding him to the ground and like Rapto, and Ikaris is trying to fight and get out of it, and he was just like, you know, with his hands.
It was
and-
Fastos.
Fastos was a very interesting character. كتير حبيت the character تبع Fastos. How he wanted to build a family, wanting to be human even though they know they can't grow old and all of that, but they still want to feel that human life.
The whole scene تبع Ajak and Ikaris and how Ajak died كان فيهم يعملوها بطريقة أحسن. Like during the whole thing, like يعطونا هيك شوي منه يرجعوا يكفوا بالآخر.
Exactly.
حسيت هيك some visual effects were like weird. I don't know, like this is not Marvel, you know.
The movie in the end, in general, I think it's a good introductory movie.
It's very essential. Like you have to watch Eternals. Yeah.
That's it.
Yes. Okay.
Spider-Man: No Way Home. Spider-Man, John.
John Watts.
John Watts.
Yeah, the actual director who directed هو عمل the trilogy تبع Spider-Man نحكي Homecoming and Far From Home and No Way Home.
No Way Home.
I think Spider-Man kind of reminded me of when Endgame نزل أو Infinity War. كان في كتير هيك emotional roller coaster, like we cry, we laugh, we cheer. I don't know if it's the end, but it's also a beginning, like for the multiverse era.
Exactly,
I'm
it
gonna
was
call
like-
it that. I don't know.
Yeah,
What
I
am
mean, the
Yeah.
multiverse started before, I think.
Yeah, but
Loki and
yeah,
but it was just
Spider-Man,
like خلاص هون multiverse. It's like okay, we're doing this. It's kind of like an introduction somehow. But at the same time, يعني the movie is incredible. What I loved about it كمان, it's kind of nostalgic. أنا ما كتير ذاكر The Amazing Spider-Man and you know the Spider-Man تبع Tobey Maguire. Like I don't remember them a lot because you know I haven't watched them when I grew up. I watched them when I was young. But it still was like nostalgic, satisfying. I think anyone from multiple generations
definitely.
can watch it, you know, because
they actually did watch it, I guess.
the build-up, this is it, the build-up from the first two movies in the trilogy. لحديت No Way Home, it was just satisfying to watch this development for Peter Parker and Tom Holland as an actor, going from just this, you know, high school student wanting to love Zendaya, fighting, you know, protecting his neighborhood, to now being broken, wanting revenge.
We actually like grew up watching Spider-Man 1 and 2 and 3 and then The Amazing Spider-Man. بصير ما نحكي كيف Marvel Studio Sony كان في a lot of conflict. That's why صار في عنا كذا Spider-Man.
حبيت how they brought them together. Like it was a cool thing to finally bring them together. And I think finally Peter Parker تبع Andrew Garfield was given justice. I think everyone loves Tobey Maguire. He's like the OG Spider-Man. But in this movie,
Yes, exactly.
even though it was Tom Holland's movie, Andrew Garfield just was perfect. And when I knew that he improvised the scene تبع I love you guys when they were on the tower.
And even he actually likes the scene تبع Andrew when he catches MJ. Yeah.
This is like my favorite scene in the whole movie. It was just super satisfying. He caught her and he stood there. He was just like looking at her and like عبدنا.
And she didn't understand why, but
Yeah.
we do.
And she was like, "Are you okay?"
I remember like punching my cousin right next to me, and I was like, Willem Dafoe.
Wow.
Okay, I think he's like the best villain so far.
He is,
Hella, we love Hella.
But I mean, acting, character, he's like the ultimate villain, people call him. And I like the nod to Miles and the
Yes,
Spider-Verse.
I have this feeling that we might see him in Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange.
I think Spider-Man might be nominated for best visual effects with Oscars.
I read that they are pushing it for Best Picture,
Oof,
but
okay.
I'm not sure. The visual effects were just amazing.
This is what Marvel offers, you know. Doctor Strange was there.
Doctor Strange, the fight between Doctor Strange and
Spider-Man from
Spider-Man
the
in the mirror realm. The visuals were amazing, always in the mirror realm. Talking about Multiverse of Madness, but I think she may have caused like opening the multiverse or something. I don't know, we're
I have
assuming,
no idea.
speculating.
Spider-Man خلص the trailer تبع
Doctor Strange, Beal, post credits.
يعني it's kind of like we're gonna go somewhere else. Where...
Yeah, as you said قبل شوي, the multiverse era.
And even like WandaVision كمان also خلص بهالطريقة, so we're starting يلا multiverse era. I don't know, yeah, this is what I'm calling it.
Yeah. The ending, it was like heartbreaking, but بنفس الوقت it was like satisfying. It's sad, but it's satisfying. It's kind of a full circle. You know, he went into a small apartment, very similar to Tobey's apartment to be the first Spider-Man. And, you know, now he's back to being an unknown neighborhood with a new suit and everything. And the window scene, you know. I think it was a satisfying ending for a very crazy movie.
Crazy, I like that.
So this was our review for the 3 latest releases from Marvel.
Yes.
I know maybe the quality isn't the best now, but this is our first video. We're trying this out. Our opinions, we're not critics or anything.
Thank you. See you next time.